evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The first consultation session of the Constitution Drafting Assembly of Libya starts in Salalah. The UN envoy to Libya values the Sultanate's role in hosting the consultation meeting of the members of the Constitution Drafting Assembly of Libya. 5 people are killed and 20 injured in an explosion in the Turkish city Istanbul. And a Dubai airliner crashes in Russia, killing all 62 on board. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, on the death of His Royal Highness Prince Bandar bin Saud bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a cable of condolences to His Excellency President Dr. Vladimir Putin of Russia on the victims of the plane crash in the Russian city of Rostov-on-Don. And His Majesty has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Beji Caid Essebsi of Tunisia on his country's independence anniversary. The first consultation session for members of the Libyan Constitution Drafting Assembly had started in the city of Salalah. The event is being hosted by the Sultanate after a joint invitation with the United Nations support the mission in Libya. At the beginning of the meeting, His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah conveyed to members of the Libyan Constitution Drafting Assembly His Majesty the Sultan's welcome to the Sultanate, wishing them success in their meeting. His Excellency also said that Libyans are able to solve all the issues they are addressing, calling upon participants to write history for their country by dealing with each other in a fair way. He added that countries are not built on conflicts and disputes, but through tolerance and reconciliation. From his side, Al-Gilani Abdul Salam Mohammed, chairman of the Libya Constitution Drafting Assembly, valued the Sultanate's role in hosting the members of the Assembly, pointing out that the Constitution included 220 articles. He added that the Assembly exerted great efforts in contacting Libyans and take their opinions on their draft Constitution as to be an expression of their views and realization of their aspirations. In turn, the UN envoy to Libya, Martin Kobler, expressed his thanks to the Sultanate for hosting all members of the Libyan Constitution Drafting Assembly, describing it as a significant role in the region for sustaining peace. He also called upon participants to put their country's interests in drafting the Constitution aside.
First of all, I really would like to express my deepest thanks, Mr. Minister, for the generosity of the Sultanate of Oman to host this meeting. I think these are truly historic days. This is very easily said sometimes, and only historians after 10 years will decide whether it will be a historic day or not. But I think what you have been preparing over the last months, the papers you have been preparing, the working committees, you have a text on the table. You grew together as Constitutional Drafting Assembly, from south, from east, from west. You demonstrated the true cohesion, which I very often see also now in Libya, that there is an insight that the development has to go ahead.
Hundreds of mourners marched in the West Bank city of Hebron today in a funeral procession for a Palestinian shot dead by the Israeli army. According to Israeli soldiers, the man was shot dead after he tried to stab them in the occupied West Bank on Friday. Since October, almost daily, Palestinian street attacks have killed 28 Israelis and 2 U.S. citizens. Israeli forces have killed at least 189 Palestinians, 128 of whom Israel says were assailants, many of them in their teens. Most others were shot dead during clashes and protests. Palestinian leaders said attackers have acted out of desperation in the absence of movement towards the creation of an independent state. An explosion on Istanbul's main pedestrian shopping street has killed at least 5 people and injured 20 others. Istanbul's governor said the explosion is believed to have been caused by a suicide bombing. Ambulances were responding to the explosion on Ishtikal Street, which is also home to cafes, restaurants and foreign consulate buildings. It occurred outside a shopping mall. The explosion comes as Turkey is on edge following 2 recent suicide bomb attacks in the capital Ankara, which were claimed by a Kurdish militant group that is an offshoot of the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK. Turkey had heightened security in Ankara and Istanbul in the run-up to a Kurdish Spring Festival on 21st of March. The UN envoy for Syria said an upcoming meeting between U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov could be crucial to help move the Syria peace talks toward a political transition in the country after 5 years of devastating civil war. Yesterday's remarks by Staffan de Mistura came at the end of the first week of Syria peace talks that resumed in Geneva. Kerry is expected in Moscow next week. He said that he has given both sides homework for the weekend and that when talks continue on Monday, he will strive to reach a minimum platform between the government and the opposition teams. De Mistura urged the Syrian government to put forward a paper on transition, saying the opposition had already presented one. The top commander said today Iraqi forces have launched a broad offensive to retake the city of Hit from the Daesh group in the western province of Anbar. Led by the elite counterterrorism service forces from the police, army and local tribal fighters were making a final push to retake Hit, 145 kilometers of Baghdad. Meanwhile, the International Committee of the Red Cross said that thousands of freshly displaced people were stranded in areas where very little assistance is available. The organization said it was able to deliver aid for the first time on Friday to around 12,000 people west of Ramadi. The Daesh still controls vast areas of Anbar province near the borders with Jordan and Syria, as well as the city of Fallujah, which is only 50 kilometers from Baghdad. Flowers were placed at the entrance of Rostov-on-Don airport in memory of the 62 people killed aboard a passenger jet flying from Dubai to southern Russia, which crashed in the early hours of today. All passengers and crew members perished when their plane crashed on its second attempt to land at Rostov-on-Don airport. The investigative committee of Russia said the plane came down inside the airport's perimeter about 250 meters short of the start of the runway. The plane's wing hit the ground on its second attempt to land and burst into flames. According to Fly Dubai, there were 44 Russians among the 55 passengers, 8 Ukrainians, 2 Indians and 1 Uzbek. 4 children were among the dead. The powerful explosion pulverized the plane, but investigators quickly recovered both flight recorders. The cause of the crash wasn't immediately known, but officials said and experts pointed at a sudden gust of wind as a possible reason. Fly Dubai operates more than 1,400 flights a week. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Sultanate participates today in the World Campaign Earth Hour, which falls on 19th of March every year. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Royal Oman Police in the Governorate of Dahira concluded activities of Gulf Traffic Week under the theme "Your decision determines your fate." Events and various activities were accompanying the Traffic Week, which enhanced traffic awareness among the community. The activities came in cooperation between ROP and a number of government and private establishments. It included plays and poems which talked about the importance of traffic awareness, as well as a lecture on statistics of traffic issues in the Sultanate. They also contained an exhibition presenting some of the traffic accident victims, in addition to the spreading driving instructions to reduce the accidents. His Excellency Sheikh Hamiyar Al-Malek Al-Shahani, Governor of Dahira, presided over the closing ceremony. Majlis Club in the Wilayah of Sohar organized an honoring ceremony for the excelled participants in Youth Creations program. The event included a number of items such as welcoming operetta, poems, virtual shows and presenting some participations of the club in the Governorate of North Batina. His Excellency Sheikh Khaled bin Omar Al Marhoun, Minister of Civil Service, presided over the ceremony. A number of governorates of the Sultanate witnessed heavy to moderate rainfall. In the Governorate of Dakhliya, the wilayahs Niswa, Iski, Al-Hamra and Bala witnessed varied intensity rains, causing some wadis and their tributaries to overflow. After the rainfall in the Wilayah of Kuriyat in the Governorate of Muscat, the quantity of water reserve in Wadi Dikat Dam reached around 100 million cubic meters. When the Sultanate was affected by the weather condition, the lake near the dam contained more than 40 million cubic meters of water due to the Wadi flow in Damawatin. The citizens and residents in the area enjoy the calm and beautiful atmosphere while watching the waterfalls. The dams play a vital role in the retaining quantities of water and preventing it from heading to the sea in order to utilize it in various ways. The Sultanate participated today in the World Campaign Earth Hour, which falls on 19th of March every year, by switching off electricity from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. on the premises of public and private establishments, especially in the wilayas of the Sultanate's governorates. The participation in the Earth Hour aimed to encourage environment protection and facing environmental challenges, besides encouraging rationalization of energy uses. Now for the general weather forecast. Partially cloudy skies will prevail over the northern governorates with scattered rainfalls, occasionally thunderous on the Hajar Mountains and its nearby areas and the coastal areas of Sea of Oman. On the governorates of Dhofar and Al-Wusta, there are chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning. Winds will be northwesterly moderate on the coastal areas overlooking Sea of Oman, while on the rest of the governorates it will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate to rough on the coastal areas of Sea of Oman and Musandam, with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters. While on the rest of the coast, it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. The first consultation session of the Constitution Drafting Assembly of Libya starts in Salalah. The UN envoy to Libya values the Sultanate's role in hosting the consultation meeting of the members of the Constitution Drafting Assembly of Libya. Five people are killed and 20 injured in an explosion in the Turkish city Istanbul. And a Dubai airliner crashes in Russia, killing all 62 on board. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again.